welcome to another exciting episode of A Doctor's Journey. We're still here on the beautiful islands of Tahiti, and today we'll be discussing how to pick your program or the university that you want to advance your career with. And I think the number one thing that you must focus on is your why. What's the reason or what's the purpose that's driving you towards this career path? And when you select your why, I strongly recommend that it not be a financial reason, because you may end up trading your mental health for money and not necessarily going down a career path of something that you love, where you're trading your passion for income or your passion for wealth. The second thing I want you to focus on is distance and money. Oftentimes you think about, okay, I'll go to the school that's most affordable, or I'll go to the one that's closest to my house or closest to where I work, and that's not always the most suitable decision. You want to look at the program length and how much time you have to commit to your education. This way you're not setting yourself up for failure. Be true to yourself. You're the only one that knows what you're going through and how much hours you really have to commit to your education. Everyone's journey will be different, but we'll all get to the same destination. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself in a situation where you have time off approved for the next 3 months, but you know your program is 12 months long. You get to that 3-month point, your supervisor is no longer approving additional time, and you end up either quitting your job or you end up dropping out of school. And that's something that we would definitely not want to happen. So you definitely want to make sure that you're being realistic with the goals that you're setting for yourself, and you have that academic plan not per semester but throughout your entire academic program. I want you to also look at accreditation. You want to make sure that the institution that you're pursuing your higher level of education is accredited. So when you graduate, you're able to land that job and not be held back because your institution did not have the correct accreditation. You also want to look at student experience, and you have to differentiate from what's a program issue and what's a personal issue. So when you look at students' feedback, you want to hear, what they have to say about professor and flexibility, but not necessarily take wholeheartedly a comment that may say, I did not have enough time to finish my assignment and the professor didn't give me extra credit, or they didn't really get the grade that they believe they deserve. So you definitely want to make sure that you're filtering through what could have been a personal issue on the students and not an institutional error. You do want to narrow down your selection to 2 institutions. So you know what you want to advance your career in. You're going to do the research as to which institution is best to pursue that career path, and then you want to narrow it down to 2. When you have the 2, then you will do the check and balance to see, okay, what's the advantage of going with A versus B, and see if they balance out or if one has an edge over another. For example, I picked an institution that worked in collaboration with the institution that I was working with. So they gave students discounts. And also, if I was to attend that university, my job would pay 100% for my tuition. So you definitely want to look at what your situation is, what you would be eligible for, and make that best informed decision. Look at the program structure and look to see if it's realistic. I think sometimes we hit a stumbling block because we have too many difficult courses piled in together. You definitely want to make sure that if you're in the science profession, that you're spacing out those science courses with some liberal arts and some English and some sociology and some psychology. You don't want to have your biochemistries and your organic chemistries all together in one semester. And that's a conversation that you can have with your program director to see, A, are you able to split them up so that you can have a balanced semester? Or B, if the program is rigid where you have to do them together, you have to have that conversation with yourself and not be in game for failure, because that may not be something that you're able to manage up front. What universities don't want you to know is that you can transfer in up to 30 credits. So I know some individuals don't necessarily like going to a 2-year school or a state university. They want that Ivy League title on their resume because they feel like that may propel them and propel their career. That's not always true, but there is a method to the madness, so to speak. So you can get your first 30 credits in a cost efficient institution and then transfer those credits into your Ivy League school. This way, you're only paying half of the cost and you're graduating from that degree program with that distinguished title. Thank you for joining another episode of A Doctor's Journey. It's my pleasure to bring you more information on how to navigate your career. I'll see you at the next